I feel like a lot of people have been talking about law of attraction, but they haven't been talking about timeline jumping. Timeline jumping is basically every decision you make throughout the day creates a new timeline or a different outcome from an outcome that could have been happening differently. It could be little things like if you choose coffee or tea in the morning, or it could be bigger things. Just making one simple decision can jump you into a different timeline. Lately, a lot of things for the past few years especially have been trying to manipulate us into choosing a specific timeline. Be aware that when you get information, especially from the media, that it is trying to follow a certain narrative and a certain timeline. So one of the things I always tell myself, am I in control of this? The only thing we can really control is how we react to our circumstances and the emotions and how we process those emotions. So no matter what the media tells you, no matter what the news tells you, just be in control of what you're in control of. And if that means turning it off and not hearing any of it, you might be more peaceful and able to stay in your center more than if you paid attention to the narrative and what a lot of the people in the collective are trying to focus on. You're going to be able to jump timelines by just choosing a different reality, simply saying, this isn't the truth, this isn't my truth, this is not the world I'm living in. I'm living in peace, I'm living in harmony, and I'm in a world where we have free will and we're able to choose our own peace. So many people base outside circumstances on their reality, when really everything that is happening in our reality is actually interpreted by everything that's inside of us, whether it be our mind, our nervous system, our sensory perception. It's all happening inside of us. Quantum reality has stated that we create our own reality by what we observe and what we interpret as the truth. So when you're observing something, observe it, and if you feel uncomfortable with it, then choose the dual reality that makes you feel more comfortable. For example, what's going on right now, you can choose the reality that we never have war. Well, you can choose the reality that everyone's perfectly healthy and that no one ever has to worry about struggle, about life, about happiness. You want to choose the reality where everyone can wake up every day feeling whole, perfect, complete, and happy the way God Source, creator of our soul, intended us to feel every single day. You can wake up with the reality of creating heaven on earth. Keep focusing on the higher reality. Keep focusing on what matters, the positive intentions behind things. If you experience a negative duality, figure out how to transmute that into a positive duality to be able to transmute and bring heaven down to earth. Timeline jumping. You can now jump into different timelines even quicker because we're ascending more into 5D instead of being stuck in the 3D matrix and 3D mindset that we were before. So whenever you're given information about your outside world, it's always interpreted through your brain and your nervous system. You have to start conditioning your brain to be able to recognize the positive duality of what you're observing, because everything you observe is a reflection of yourself. So you can also look at it as what part of this reality is a fraction or a reflection of some kind of belief that I hold, because you're experiencing this to be able to navigate through it. It's not about being always so happy and loving, which is easier said than done. We can't always realistically be 100% happy, 100% loving, but if we start conditioning our mind and we're able to navigate it quicker, it's being able to bring yourself back into that happiness quicker, even if you're feeling something. Even if you're feeling a negative emotion, it's being able to bring yourself back into that peace and that balance and seeing the duality of what you want created instead of staying in those lower vibrations and those lower mindsets. And that's all about being in the waking dream. That's all about being able to navigate through the matrix, which is always going to try to bring you down into a 3D mindset. So basically, catch the matrix when it's trying to trick you. Catch the tests of people, events, situations that are going to trigger you and test you, so that way you can elevate and navigate easier through the 3D matrix to create your reality, to create the timeline that you want to be on. The only way to create timelines is through the belief and structure that you're going to put in your brain with each decision on how you interpret the situation. If you interpret the situation negative, it's going to escalate into more negative consequences. If you create a reality that's positive and look at the positive duality of certain situations, times, triggers, even look at it as a test, you're able to navigate easier and hopefully elevate yourself easier. And that's just part of navigating throughout this reality and this matrix. You reincarnated here because it's part of a training ground. It's part of learning that you can create your own reality and being trained to navigate your emotions. We are all one. Everything that you experience is all one God source creator of your soul. And we're just fractaled in so many different ways and perspectives. When you can start seeing yourself in other people, you can start seeing yourself in other circumstances and all of your reality, you'll start to see the magic and the holiness and the God presence in everything. And then you can navigate a little bit easier into a higher elevation. Another thing about timeline jumping, if it doesn't align with your true purpose, with what you want in your reality and your mission for the world, you can simply say, not in my timeline. We create our reality by a lot of subconscious beliefs. So when you're experiencing some part of your reality that maybe doesn't seem so positive, try to think of what subconscious beliefs could have created that and reaffirm positive affirmations. I am deserving. I am worthy of all the good the universe has to offer. I deserve the best and I receive the best. I think about the best things and I am now on my highest possible timeline for my greatest good. Peace, love, namaste.